Hello, fourth graders. Welcome back. I want to show you the first document. This is going to be the document you are going to do and turn into us. If you have paper packet, it's going to look like this with the questions attached to it. You are going to fill out this document right here, and that's what you are going to turn into us. Also, if you are doing it online through Google Classroom, you're going to have a separate document you're going to type your answers on. If you happen to have the document printed out or it's in your paper copy, go ahead and spend the time marking on it. Use your symbols, hashtags, number your paragraphs, prove your answers. This is all great reading practice, and it would be great for you to practice that. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this, and I'm going to take you then into what I want to show you as far as the other documents go. If you are in Google Classroom, this is the document that you are going to see when you are working and what you're going to type on. You will type in your student number, your name, the date, and then the questions are multiple choice 1 through 4. So you are going to type either A, B, C, or D in this column, and then you're going to explain yourself on how you got the answer. For example, you know it's A because of paragraph 1, sentence 2, or you know it's B because of process of elimination, and then explain why the other answers were not correct, or if you had to infer. Numbers 5 and 6 are short answers. These cells right here will grow the more you type. Question 5, I know for a fact, has multiple questions embedded in it, so make sure you're answering both questions when you are typing your answer. Show your evidence and type as much as you need to get your point across. Okay, now I'm going to take you back and I'm going to take you through a reading lesson. Now, I'm not going to use this reading lesson because I want to test your knowledge. What I am going to show you is this one. This is the document that I'm going to teach from. Mrs. Shing said, class, Robert Scott's journal was just found in Antarctica. Scott was a famous British explorer. He was in a race to be the first person to reach the South Pole. Scott reached the pole on January 17, 1912, only to find that he had come in second. Roald Amundsen from Norway had gotten there first on December 14, 1911. Scott never made it back. He and all of his men died from hunger, cold, and exhaustion. Okay, I have started you off with reading the paragraph. We kind of know that this is going to be obviously about the explorers and what all happened and the journaling that is embedded in it. I know I'm going to have to prove my answers because I'm going to pretend this is a paper copy. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to number my paragraphs so I can show my evidence much quicker. And I'm going to write hashtags as I'm reading. So this first paragraph is about a famous explorer. So let me move my computer a little bit closer. I'm going to write famous explorer. And I am making sure that I include my markings. Now I can do these markings more than once, but I need to make sure I do all of these at least one time. So going through this, I'm going to put a check mark with Antarctica because I understand Antarctica. I've learned about it. I'm not sure about the word exhaustion. I've heard of exhaustion. I could be exhausted, which means tired. So I'm assuming that exhaustion is related to that. And I am going to put a question mark next to this person as far as what did he do to get there maybe first, or what all happened with that. So I'm not quite sure, and I'm going to keep reading. Mrs. Shing continues, the man who found the journal is going to sell it. The price will be high. This is because the journal is going to be giving new details about what really happened. One entry is about the polar bear attack. No one knew about the attack before. Everyone will want to read about it. Polar bear attack. That's kind of gotten my attention. I'm going to put a heart there next to that part. I like that. And then also, I want to know more, and I'm finding that this is probably important information. So I'm going to go ahead and put an exclamation mark. Landon said something about the journal. Oops, I forgot to do hashtags. I need to do a hashtag. This was about journal. If I don't keep that pen down just right, it doesn't write. So trying my best. Landon said something about the journal isn't right. I'm in the dark, bumping into things, completely lost. Still, I'm going to try to find my way to see the light. So Landon's trying to make sense as to what was said here, and he's a little confused, and I'm definitely confused. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and put a question mark here. I'm not really sure what's happening. And I'm going to put hashtag where is the light. Okay. Suddenly, Raina cried, a light bulb just went off in my head. I can see it. Oh, I can relate to that. Aha! I understand now. I'm able to make sense of what's happening up here. Landon is right that something is wrong. The journal is fake because polar bears don't live in Antarctica. They only live in the Arctic, up near the North Pole. I like the connections that were made in here. I'm going to go back up to the top. Did I do a heart? Yes. Did I do a check mark? Yes. Did I do an exclamation mark? Yes. Did I circle words? Yes. And did I have a question mark? I sure did. So I used all of the points. I'm going to make sure I do another hashtag right here, and I'm going to put hashtag, oh yes, I'm understanding now what's happening. Now, your hashtag markings might look different than mine, but that's okay. Now we're going to go ahead and go down, but before I do that, I am going to erase all of this so that way it doesn't get mixed up in our questions. So I am going to erase it all, and I'm going to move down now into the questioning. In the story, the phrase being dark is an analogy for either understanding or not understanding. Well, I know an analogy is something that is compared. It's something that you are trying to make connections with, but they are two things that are very different, kind of like a duckling and a kitten. Ducklings and kittens are very different animals. However, they're both babies. That would be an analogy. It's when you're comparing two completely different things, but you're figuring out something that's the same. So being dark is telling us that it's an analogy of something, and we need to figure out what that would be. The analogy would be not understanding. If you are in the dark, it means that you don't know what's happening. That would be not understanding. Okay. And I can find this in paragraph 3. So I'm going to label this paragraph 3, but that's not the only place that I'm going to mark it. If I go up to paragraph 3, it is talking about how he was left in the dark. And that part right there is the relation to question number 1. Okay, so now I'm going to go back down and we're going to look at question number 2. Question number 2 says, in the story, a light bulb is going off. A light bulb going off is an analogy for getting an idea or not getting an idea. Well, I do know that it is getting an idea, and I can find this in paragraph number 4. And if I go right here, I can find how you get the light bulb in your head. That's all related to question number 2. Okay, do you see how I'm marking this? Then I go back down, number 3, explain why the phrases being in the dark and a light bulb going off helps the reader pick a story. Now, because of the stylus and the space, I'm not going to write it, but I will verbally explain my answer. Now, your answer might be a different opinion than my opinion, but no matter what, when you are answering it, you need to make sure you're citing your evidence. So I would say stated from paragraph 3 and paragraph 4, where it talks about being in the dark temporarily and then a light bulb going off, it means that at this point, they're not really fully understanding what's happening. And then all of a sudden you get that aha moment. People understand what it's like to be in the dark also. Like if you're in a dark, dark room, can you see anything? And think about the emotions, the feelings you would have if you were in that dark, dark room. And then all of a sudden the lights come on. Think about what your emotion would be. That's the same emotion, just in a different circumstance. You are not understanding the content or what's happening around you, and then all of a sudden you understand what is happening. That is the relationship within this story. And that's what I would explain in this short answer also. Okay? Thank you so much and enjoy your reading.